All right, we are on Disco Bloodbath here, which is an older map for this round 2 game between ICRedd and Seli. I believe this is a best of 5. So I'm going to be interested to see what these two guys do. Both of these have got some game for sure. ICRedd likes to try stuff out, variety of strats we've seen from him so far in this tournament. Seli, certainly tries all the tech, that's for sure, but so far we've seen pretty standard builds from him, but he does them well. He has good expansion timings, does continue to scout his opponent, and certainly knows how to build an army. So this could get interesting. So it's ICRedd's going to be the first one to get a scout across the map. This worker presumably just going to come across and have a look. It's gateway first at home, so I don't think this worker is going to be doing anything sneaky or cunning or anything like that. I think this is just going to have to have a quick look at what his opponent's doing. So typically, Protoss comes in, kind of harasses the worker building the barracks, and that can be really annoying for the Terran. But in this case, ICRedd is going to do the gentlemanly thing and not harass the worker. He's pinging about the place. He's going to get the worker out of there. Second supply depot comes down, and that's going to deny any further scouting. But ICRedd does importantly see that it's a single barracks. There isn't like sort of 3 barracks, 1 finished and 2 in production or anything like that, and also gets to see that there isn't, although it's too early for an expo, what am I even talking about, but Seli is now moving across the map with this worker, and this does not seem like the racing line. It does look like he's come quite low here, so I don't know if this is going to be a proxy something, proxy factory, or perhaps a proxy starport, or if it's just taking the roundabout way to come in and have a look. Is going to see the timing on this, very, very similar to the time of his own expand, so he knows that everything's pretty normal here. This is pretty much all good stuff. Has a little peek at the gas. One of the things you can do when you see the gas, you can click on them, and when you click on them you can see how much has been mined from them, which can be a useful bit of intel. So if the gases are finished, if I look, you can see this has got remaining to, I think they start at 2,500 or something like that. We'll soon find out. 2250, sorry. So yeah, by clicking on your own gas and looking at how much is left and clicking on your opponent's gas, you can kind of get a feel for, did they take their gas much earlier than I did, based on how much is left in the Vespene geyser. So it just, anywho, this worker hiding out here may come in useful in the later stages. We might see a pylon go down here, a bit of a warp in, but who knows. There is a Stargate at home. In fact, it's double a Stargate, so it looks like it's going to be air out of ICRedd. The factory just finished up here for Seli, and by the looks of things going straight into a reactor, so I wouldn't be overly surprised to see a sort of factory swap with the barracks. And it looks like this is 111 from well, it is a 111 from Seli, which simply means you do one of each, 1 racks, 1 factory, 1 starport, and it's a very robust sort of general purpose opening. I mean, arguably more common is the 211, where you have 2 barracks and the rest the same. It's a versatile build that lets you get some Marines out in the early game to defend your base, to nice scout in, to get a bit of presence on the map, take a bit of control of the map. And then ultimately, once you've made your tech decision, those Marines can be loaded up into a medevac or whatever and dropped into your opponent's base. Needs to get the depots up here. If he doesn't want the shed isn't going to get anywhere as the adept in fact goes down, which is a shame. As I was saying, depending on the tech path you've chosen, as the game progresses off 211, you can load medevacs into load the Marines into medevacs. I'm tired, it's been a long day, and just drop them into your opponent's base, and get a bit more scouting done in that way, and additionally hopefully get some damage. So ICRedd has got an Oracle here, and it looks like he's going to send that across the map now to try and get something done. Oracle's really, really useful units, you know, very good against Terran. They can get in, they can focus down some workers. Best to keep the Oracle alive if you possibly can. Is it going to, oh my gosh, look at this. So that's the vision. Is the vision range for a medevac the same as an Oracle? Well, I don't think they saw each other. So the medevac coming across here has 4 Widow Mines in it. The Oracle, which could reveal them as it goes, is on the other side of the map. Who's going to strike first here? This Oracle can potentially get quite a few worker kills. Similarly, a medevac full of Widow Mines can get quite a few worker kills too. So in comes the Oracle. It's going to start going to work on these. Is Seli going to be distracted on the other side of the map? It looks like he is. There's no response from him so far. Finally, the workers do get pulled. You know, but this is actually, if you A-click the Marines, this is a good chance to attack on the other side of the map, because there's a reasonable chance your opponent is busy microing his Oracle. So you can kind of, you know, this would be a good time to get these medevacs in. The medevacs do go in, are going to burrow. 2 burrow. Let's see how many kills we get. Boom, boom. Oh, that is actually pretty resounding. 5 kills, 2 kills, 4 kills. Let's have a peek at the damage. Both players going ham on each other. Seli has killed 11. ICRedd has killed 8. But Seli, you need to get these Widow Mines out of there. Personally, this one hasn't actually fired. I would get it burrowed, get the rest of them loaded up. I'm not sure where his attention is, but it definitely isn't over here. No, the Widow Mines are actually going to get to reset. And this, you shouldn't be allowing this to happen. These Widow Mines are going to fire for a second time and get even more worker kills. Oh my goodness, this is quickly turning into a problem here for ICRedd. Void Rays are going to come across, but this Widow Mine has yet to fire. This one has yet to fire. Ooh, if the Viking was still alive, could have potentially got some shots off. But all of the Void Rays taking hull damage, in some cases pretty severe hull damage. Let's take a peek again. It's 16 workers killed. This is a really, really good drop by Seli. So if we look at the income tab here, we can see he's well ahead. On the worker count, has a 10 worker lead over his opponent, and in general you need a worker lead over Terran, because Terran has mules to help out with the mining as well. So yeah, what's it going to be? It does look like it's going to be bio, so a lot of racks being finished up here. Seli has of course seen the Void Rays. He's seen them, he knows how many there are. Getting some of those Void Rays bruised can be a pretty useful thing, because obviously the shields will regen, but the hull damage, there's nothing you can do about it. I mean, so this one with 25 health, you know, has a total of 125 hit points as opposed to 250 that a Void Ray would normally have. So, you know, when it comes to an engagement, if you can get your Stim Marines in and just be right-clicking these in order, in sort of ascending order of hit points, so you want to hit this really weakened one first, and then this one, then this one, then this one, because those will just pop out of the sky all the sooner, and that is going to obviously reduce the firepower of your opponent's army. Finally, this worker does decide to drop a pylon here, so we'll see what comes of that. And it could be a good location to actually drop a couple of shield batteries. You could send the voids in, you can do a bit of harassing and pull back to the shield batteries before they take damage. Has also still got this Oracle, but there is now a missile turret, so unlikely that that Oracle will achieve very much more. So Seli coming across now with with a tank drop, and again, depending on the position here, this could do well, but he needs to drop a scan ahead of time. This many Void Rays is really, really dangerous, and the siege tank will not help you against them. Were he round here, for example, siege tank here with the Marines, that would be really useful. Looks like the Oracle has come back to have another little poke. Does actually find a position out of range of this turret, but all Seli has to do is pull the workers over this side, and if this Oracle comes forward at all, it's, oh my goodness, yeah, the Marines should get to finish that off. There it goes. But still, these Void Rays are just going to shoot these out of the sky before they can get anything done, unfortunately. So, you know, dropped the scan, but it was too late. You need to drop the scan in advance of that and see what you're flying into. This is a very, I mean, this is literally the worst corner of ICRedd's best that you could choose to land in. The two cannons here, the shield batteries, the void rays, anywhere but there is where you want to be flying in. So that's a big win for ICRedd. 2 medevacs full. You know, that is a lot of money's worth of stuff. If we have a little look at the units killed tab, it's ICRedd that's killed the more units. And if you look at the workers lost, it is Seli that's actually lost the most resources here. So a big win in that, you know, medevac's 100, 100 gas in each of those medevacs, not to mention the siege tank and the marines. So pretty nasty. These marines that are parked at home, there is a fair old number of them. If we look at the army supplies, it is Seli that's ahead, but you don't want to be trying to push into this. This you need to know about as well. Substantial number of gateways coming down. Often if you're going Protoss air, it tends to be gas that's your limiting factor, and you find that your minerals can climb a bit. So a really useful thing to do is to research charge from the Twilight console and just turn those extra minerals into zealots. Now, just looking at this upgrades tab, you know, there's combat shield done, but there's no stim, and that is a pretty serious bit of negligence. There's also no upgrades done just yet. I mean, there's 2 eBays, and he needs to get those busy, really. There's +1 air attack done, and there's +1 armor done for the Protoss. Seli needs to level the playing field. Here we are at 11 minutes. You know, really 2-2 should be done by now. But it's a lot of marines. But without stim, they're just not as effective. The void rays can outrun them. You know, the void rays outrange the marines, and they can dance backward and forward. And actually, I'm amazed that this has been seen. Yeah, I don't that seems like a bit of an overreaction. That's an awful lot of army to kill a pylon and a probe. Wouldn't it be funny if the probe actually escaped? Yeah, Seli could really do with finding out about this. These scans, he's checking for additional bases, and you know, since he doesn't know about this third, if he sees this, he's got to be feeling pretty confident. You know, his 4th is up and mining, and he sees that as far as he's concerned, his opponent's 3rd's only coming down now. It looks like these 2 players are going to miss each other on the map. Oh my goodness, if ICRedd's carriers meet this army without the void ray support, they will die. I mean, that's just too many marines. Although, you know, stim is a major problem here, but I just, even without the stim, so Seli, a little bit of micro. Ideally, you want the marines shooting the interceptors, you want the Vikings shooting the carriers themselves. Denies this pretty hard. If he had stim, it would have been so easy to give chase there, but without the stim, you just can't. The void rays are going to come in from the back, and that might not be the best place for them to come in. Seli needs to turn around. A lot of these marines not firing. The carriers are within range of the shield batteries, and if Seli just pulled back and focused on the void rays, he could kill all of the void rays here. But unfortunately, that's not what's happened. It wasn't where you wanted to be, stuck on that ramp with a lot of the marines, just kind of confused, not able to kill the carriers, and firing at interceptors that were within range of shield batteries. So in general, never fight within range of shield batteries, unless of course you're the Protoss, in which case always fight within range of shield batteries. So a bit of a misstep on the microfront from Seli. When the voids came in from behind, what he needed to do was focus on them, just pull back from the carriers and attack the void rays that did not have that support from the shield batteries. As it stands now, it's ICRedd with the army supply advantage, and that could be pretty problematic. These marines without stim, it's a bit painful, to be honest. The Thors aren't quite in the battle yet. There's DTs in here that I just don't think Seli knows about, and that's really painful as well. They're hacking away at things. The scan goes down now, and the DTs, it looks like will get cleaned up by these siege tanks eventually, but not before they've done quite a lot of damage. Most of these carriers still have a full complement of interceptors, and it is GG. So it's ICRedd that takes the first game. GG.